My GF led me to believe I got her pregnant, but I found out it wasn't mine after the birth. I've been on Reddit a while and began lurking the sub when I first suspected my GF was cheating. I had hoped I wouldn't be here posting, but here we are. I, 28 male, have been with my girlfriend, 25 female, for just about 2 years. The relationship was good, and then she tells me she's pregnant. For the most part, I'm careful, and she said she was on birth control. I was skeptical but went to an appointment and then figured it was just one of those things. I always wanted a family, so even though this was not how I wanted to begin, I was overjoyed. We're past the first trimester and I have her move in her insistence. Insert red flag. I missed. We're planning what we will do work-wise and how to set up the baby's room. She is pretty insistent she will go back to work but be able to stay home. She swears she can make it work. I go to every appointment with her. Things are still good. We're in the third trimester and I make my scheduled work to still go to every appointment. Up until this point, I had been at each appointment in its entirety. This one appointment, she's asked me to wait so she can talk to the doctor first. I'm super concerned that something is wrong with the baby and she didn't want me to hear. I go in and the checkup is done. Everything looks good. My girlfriend brushes off my concern over why I couldn't be there for all of it. Another red flag. We're about a month and a half from the due date, and I notice her being kind of secretive with phone calls and text. She tells me it's a work and it's confidential, etc. My antenna is now up, so I try to get looks at her phone. She got Snapchat and Kick. I find it strange, but don't confront her. The baby is born and I'm overwhelmed with emotion. The child is perfect and things went fine. Then comes the part where they want to go on a birth certificate. My girlfriend becomes really insistent about it. She's constantly asking me to do it and seems way more anxious I've ever seen her. Here's the red flag I didn't miss. I don't do it. We have an argument, but she stops pushing. I think it's because she knows how suspect it looks already. We're home, and she has to go tend to the baby after it woke up. I noticed she set her phone down to go to the baby. I couldn't help it and looked. It was still unlocked. I start looking for texts or calls. I then find a whole conversation and kick with a guy. All the updates of her appointments, pictures of her and the baby. Then I see it. The place, she says, she thinks it's his child. I confront her and she apologizes. She admits the baby could be mine or someone else, but she thinks it's mine. I demand a paternity test and leave. It's been about a week since the confrontation. The results came in yesterday, and the baby isn't mine. She's gone to live with her mother. Here's the best part. It took me a lot of digging, seeing as all I had were usernames she talked to him to. The father is her boss. The secrecy was for him, the boss with a wife and 4 kids, in middle and high school. I found a wife on Facebook and sent her all I had, including text from my GF saying, it's his. I'm heartbroken so many ways. I'm lucky in a lot of ways here, but I'm so hurt. This has completely changed my whole outlook. I'm bitter, angry, and untrusting. I have no idea how to recover from this.
Damn, I'm sorry. Dodged a huge bullet. That poor wife of the AP, glad you told her. At least you are not tied to her like the AP's wife is tied to him. Literally no contact with your ex. She is trash of the highest order. You dumped her and exposed her affair and child to the AP's wife. Good job. Now, take your time to grieve your loss, look after yourself and realize that you were fooled by who she lied to you to be, and that none of this is your fault. Then take another moment to think how lucky you are to have dodged this bullet. It doesn't feel like it, but you were darned lucky. It could have gone down way worse, and cost you years of your life and a child you have already raised. Dude, this might sound really crazy, but I am so happy for you. I am so glad this happened now and you get to leave and have a chance of finding someone truly good to start a family with, and you will experience the joy of having your first child in a true healthy and living relationship, and that the child born into that situation will have a good life. You win. God has opened the door for something better for you. I want to triple high five you for telling the wife of the AP. This is going to hurt her, but it will also set her free from this dangerous man she is married to. 100% this is not his first affair. 100% he is putting her life at risk of getting STDs that could kill her. It may be hard to see it all and understand now, but imagine how this could have been 5 years on. With a second child that actually is yours, and now you are strapped to her for life. This moment is a victory. The father is her boss. The secrecy was for him. The boss with a wife and 4 kids in middle and high school. I found the wife on Facebook and sent her all I had, including texts from my GF saying it's his. Quote, tell his wife. And good job on the paternity test. Paternity fraud is the only form of fraud with no consequences for the perpetrator. It should be fucking illegal, and every birth should come with a mandatory paternity test before any birth certificate can be filled out. The paternity test should be stapled to the birth certificate or should be a component of it. No exceptions. I read a post on this sub recently, or maybe it was r/relationships, about a mom who cheated on her husband for 11 years straight. She got pregnant very early, and the husband married her. Over the next 10 years she spat out 3 more kids, all of which he thought were his. Long story short, 20-some-odd years later, one of the daughters bought a DNA test for herself, and the dad is a present 1 year. That started a downward spiral in which the dad eventually found out that none of his children were actually his. The mom had been cheating with her husband's friend, who happened to be a neighbor, for over a decade. The husband, caught up in the sheer agony of the moment, hung himself shortly after discovery. It was a heart-wrenching account. Your GF sounds a lot like the mom in this story. Be thankful it didn't take you a lifetime to figure it out. Thank you for telling his wife. So often we don't realize that it's important to do that for her sake. I'm sorry this was done to you. Make sure that you take the time to grieve the loss of what you thought was your future and the child you thought was yours properly. Remember, there is no timeline on grief and you have every right to feel every emotion you do. First thing, good on you for telling the betrayed person involved in this. I'm glad you were able to figure things out without being baby trapped. It doesn't help with the pain of the cheating, but man, you just dodged a major bullet. The emotional roller coaster she has been willing to put you through to cover her cheating is despicable, and I'm happy you are able to disentangle from this situation. Good luck on your future, buddy.